Welcome to the Rando Podcast, everyone. I'm Chris Crimson.
And I'm Nyx. If you're new around here, we'd love it if you hit that subscribe button so you don't miss our future deep dives.
Absolutely. We really appreciate you joining our conversation. And a big thank you to our sponsors over on YouTube, Chris, the Plant-Based, and Emma Advanced.
Yeah, thanks, guys. Your support makes these explorations possible.
It really does.
Today, we're diving deep into something that's, well, fundamentally reshaping the audio world. The incredible journey of podcasting and the powerful and increasingly undeniable role of artificial intelligence.
Right. And for you, our listener, this means getting a clear, concise understanding of podcasting's evolution, from its rather humble beginnings to the global force it is today.
And how AI fits in.
Exactly. And how AI is not just some futuristic concept, but an active player in its ongoing transformation. We've sifted through a fascinating stack of info to bring you the most insightful nuggets.
Okay, so let's unpack this. It might actually surprise you to learn that the seeds of podcasting were sown way, way back. We're talking the 1980s with these early forms of online audio called audio blogs.
Yeah, what's fascinating to consider is that even before we had a catchy name like podcast, people wanted to share their voices online. Then, 1993, you had Internet Talk Radio.
Right. Carl Malamud, often cited as the first kind of computer radio talk show.
But the crucial difference, and this is key for you, our listener, to understand, is that getting this content was clunky. You had to manually download individual audio files. Imagine.
Seriously. No easy subscribe button, no automatic downloads like we just take for granted now.
Not at all.
Okay, but here's where it gets really interesting. The real turning point, the technical foundation for modern podcasting, was attaching audio files to RSS feeds.
Yes, RSS. Kristen Louie proposed this back in 2000.
And Dave Weiner, who was key in RSS development, he actually put this into practice. RSS 0.92.
That's the one. He introduced the enclosure element. Simple, but so powerful, like attaching a file to an email, basically.
And to show it worked, in January 2001, Weiner actually included a Grateful Dead song in his weblog using that exact thing.
That seemingly small technical step, linking audio to an RSS feed, that was the spark. It meant audio could be syndicated, distributed much more easily.
So the key takeaway here for you is that this wasn't one brilliant invention. It was like cleverly combining existing tech.
Exactly. But the birth of what we really recognize as modern podcasting, that kicks off in 2004. Adam Curry, former MTV VJ, and Dave Weiner again, they created the iPodder software.
Yes, iPodder.
Yeah.
That was the crucial piece for the average listener. It automated downloading these broadcasts straight to their iPods. Remember iPods?
Oh, yeah.
It made listening on the go so convenient. And then, same year, Ben Hammersley coined podcasting in The Guardian.
Clever blend, right? iPod and broadcasting. It just stuck.
Totally.
So you see how it all came together. The RSS backbone for distribution, iPodder simplifying access, and the iPod itself as the perfect device. That combination just paved the way.
And the story keeps going. October 2004, liberated syndication. Libsyn launched. First podcast service provider.
Libsyn was important, yeah. It gave creators the infrastructure, host and distribute without needing crazy tech skills.
But maybe the single biggest leap in mainstream adoption. June 2005. Apple integrates podcast support right into iTunes.
Oh, massive. Connecting this to the bigger picture for you, the listener, Apple's move was just transformative for discoverability.
Huge.
Millions of iTunes users suddenly had this built-in directory. Find, subscribe, easy. It shifted podcasting from niche to, well, accessible, a total game changer.
Absolutely. Then, moving into the early 2010s, we see the rise of professional podcast networks. Earwolf, Gimlet Media, Radiotopia.
These networks brought a focus on higher production quality, better marketing, wider distribution. It elevated the whole medium.
Definitely showed it wasn't just a hobby anymore. It could be serious media production. And then 2014, Serial.
Serial. That really broke through, didn't it? Showed the power of podcasting for deep storytelling. Captivated a huge audience.
For so many people, that was their aha moment with podcasts.
It really highlighted that serialized audio narrative potential. Like appointment listening, but for your ears. Then, fast forward to 2019, Spotify jumps in big time.
Right. When a giant like Spotify invests heavily, you know it's hit the mainstream media landscape.
Undeniably. And then, the 2020s. Just a massive surge in podcast advertising. Brands finally got it.
They recognize the engaged, often niche audiences podcasts offer. A direct line.
And that growth in ad revenue, it's a clear sign of maturity. It's a valuable marketing channel now.
So yeah, the journey from those early audio experiments to this global thing. It's been marked by tech innovation, key players, cultural moments. It's quite a story.
It really is. And speaking of global, the numbers now are just staggering.
Tell me about it. Worldwide, estimates are like 584.1 million listeners in 2025, projected to hit over 650 million by 2027.
Those are huge figures, shows the global reach. And here in the U.S., equally impressive, 158 million monthly listeners estimated for 2025.
That's like 55% of the population over 12. And back in 2019, it was only around 32%.
Incredible growth, yeah, in a pretty short time.
It's exponential. And it's not just listeners, the amount of content. It's almost unbelievable. Over 4.4 million podcasts with at least 3 episodes by 2024, maybe over 5 million total.
With over 75 million episodes available, there's truly something for everyone out there.
The diversity is insane, and that record number of new podcasts in 2020, over 1 million, it just shows how accessible it's become.
Yeah, people wanting to share their passions, their knowledge. It's a great medium for that.
Absolutely. And we should also mention video podcasts. They're getting really popular.
Right. By October 2024, like 40% of weekly U.S. listeners said they prefer watching. That's up quite a bit from 28% in 2022.
Spotify's hosting over 300,000 video podcasts now.
It probably reflects changing habits, you know?
Yeah.
And the dominance of YouTube, which is the most used platform in the U.S. now for podcasts.
Yeah, people maybe want that multimedia experience, or they're finding podcasts through video first.
Makes sense.
Okay, so with all this crazy growth, the natural question, especially for you, our listener, who might be a creator or just curious, is how do people actually make money from this? How do they sustain it?
Good question. The ways to monetize have definitely evolved. Initially, yeah, it was often indirect, using the podcast to promote other stuff.
Like your main business or services.
Exactly. A marketing tool, build an audience, become an expert, lead to other opportunities. But as things matured, more direct ways popped up.
Like listener donations, right? Patreon, Buy Me a Coffee, Ko-Fi.
Yeah, that direct support from fans can be huge, especially for smaller independent shows. Builds that connection.
And selling premium content, ad-free episodes, bonus stuff.
Another way to get revenue from your most dedicated listeners, plus merch, t-shirts, mugs. Lets listeners show their support.
Can't forget the merch, but let's be real. The biggest driver now is sponsorships and advertising, those pre-roll, mid-roll, post-roll ads.
Oh, definitely. That's become standard for funding many podcasts.
And it's gotten more sophisticated, too, with affiliate marketing.
Right, using unique links, getting commissions on sales. But a really key development has been dynamic ad insertion, DAI.
DAI is fascinating. It lets them insert targeted ads in real time based on listener data, episode content.
Which means the ads you hear, listener, are more likely to be relevant to you. Big step up from those old static reads everyone heard.
Totally.
We're also seeing a shift towards integrated brand campaigns.
Yeah.
Not just immediate sales, but long-term brand building. And the variety of advertisers jumping in has just exploded.
So beyond those more traditional methods, what else are people doing? Any innovative stuff to make it sustainable?
Yeah, definitely. We're seeing more live events, virtual experiences, creates that direct interactive connection.
Oh, cool.
Some are licensing their content for adaptations, books, TV shows, expands reach and revenue. Others leverage their expertise for coaching or consulting.
Makes sense. Build authority with the podcast, then offer services.
Exactly. And like we said, monetizing video versions on YouTube is increasingly important. Often it's actually a mix of these strategies that builds a sustainable income.
Right, diversifying. Okay, so it's clearly a big industry. But what about the broader impact on society, culture? It's more than just entertainment now, isn't it?
Oh, absolutely. Its influence on news consumption is really noteworthy. Podcasts allow for that deep analysis traditional media often lacks space for.
And the conversational style. It fosters connection, trust. Might reach people who ignore traditional news.
That 2023 Pew Research study really hit on this. A big majority of U.S. podcast listeners get news from podcasts. A third of all U.S. adults.
Wow.
And crucially, they expect accuracy and often hear stuff they wouldn't find elsewhere. It suggests podcasts are becoming integral to the news ecosystem for many.
And it complements other media, right? It doesn't just replace it. Might even increase overall news consumption.
Exactly. Plus, the on-demand convenience is huge for staying informed.
Okay, and entertainment. The diversity of genres is incredible. True crime, comedy, fiction. Listen whenever, wherever.
And those live podcasting events, even dedicated podcast theaters. creating unique, immersive experiences for fans.
That community aspect is strong.
Yeah, fosters a real sense of shared experience. And we're seeing a comeback for serialized narratives audio dramas, tapping into that rich audio storytelling history.
And just personal storytelling. That intimacy between host and listener often leads to that binge listening thing we do.
Definitely. And the fact that so many hit podcasts get adapted into TV shows or films speaks volumes about their cultural impact.
It's even making waves in education, which is fascinating.
Yeah, super accessible, flexible learning, great for auditory learners.
Research shows it can boost student engagement, right? Multimedia elements, strengthens listening skills, helps overcome challenges.
Educators are using them for coursework, lecture review, even having students create podcasts.
Cool. And community building, too. Connecting listeners with shared interests through these often intimate chats.
Industry podcasts foster professional networks, knowledge sharing, and it democratizes access, gives diverse voices a platform.
That sense of shared interest leads to strong communities, online and off. Interactive podcasts boost participation. Nonprofits use them to build community around causes.
It's a really powerful tool for connection.
Okay, so that's a good picture of where podcasting is now. Let's get into the really exciting part. How AI is starting to play a role. One immediate impact is in AI-powered audio editing and enhancement.
Absolutely. AI tools are automating those time-consuming, tedious post-production tasks.
Yeah.
Noise reduction, leveling audio, cutting silences. Much more efficient now.
Saves creators so much time and effort, and text-based editing using AI transcripts, that's a real game changer.
Oh yeah, platforms like Riverside, Descript. You edit the audio by editing the text. Super intuitive.
What's transformative is how it democratizes professional editing. Makes it accessible to more people, regardless of tech skills.
And then you have AI creating those short video clips, the audiograms for social media promotion.
Those are so effective for grabbing attention, driving listeners to the full episode.
Definitely. Another huge area is transcription and accessibility.
Right. AI transcription is fast, accurate, cost-effective. Essential for hearing-impaired accessibility, but also unlocks other benefits.
Like easily generating show notes, blog posts from transcripts, improves SEO, provides extra content, plus makes editing faster, scan for sections, quotes.
And the accuracy is getting really good, right? Like up to 98% sometimes.
Yeah, that's impressive. And then there's AI's influence on content recommendation engines, Spotify, Apple Podcasts.
Those sophisticated algorithms analyzing listener data history, skips, searches to give personalized recommendations.
Enhances discoverability for new shows, keeps listeners engaged by suggesting stuff they'll actually like.
Yeah.
And personalization goes beyond just shows playback speed, EQ settings.
Right, and AI and podcast advertising, dynamic ad insertion like we mentioned, delivering targeted ads.
And AI analytics platforms give advertisers real-time data on campaign performance. Competitor analysis, too.
We're even seeing AI used to create more engaging ads, like AI host reads mimicking the host's voice.
Yeah, exploring that. Even emotion AI for inflection, AI translation for multilingual ads, reaching broader audiences.
Okay, so that's the current landscape. Now let's gaze into the future. What's next as AI gets more integrated? Sounds transformative.
Absolutely. We can expect more AI-assisted, maybe even AI-generated podcasts, script writing help, voiceovers, maybe whole episodes. NLP and voice synthesis are getting better fast.
AI voice cloning. That's intriguing. Generate content in your own voice without recording. Or use synthetic voices creatively.
Exactly. And AI will keep improving existing tools, editing, transcription, show notes, summaries, even suggesting episode structures, streamlining things further.
That frees up human creators to focus on the, strategic, creative, human stuff, content quality, audience engagement.
And for distribution and discovery. Even more refined, personalized recommendations. AI getting better at understanding not just interests, but maybe emotional responses in real time.
Whoa. We might even see more interactive formats, real-time participation, VR integration.
Potentially. Imagine immersive listening experiences.
What?
Plus, AI translation breaking down language barriers, making podcasts truly global.
That ability to easily translate content opens up huge new audiences, discover amazing stuff from everywhere.
For sure. And how we actually consume podcasts, AI will shape that too.
Maybe more short-form, snackable audio, AI creating concise summaries?
Could be. And personalization extending further automatic speed adjustments, EQ settings tailored to you.
And seamless integration with smart devices, voice assistants, making access and discovery even easier.
Definitely. Easier to listen anywhere, anytime.
You mentioned hyper-personalization earlier. That sounds like it could lead to an incredibly tailored experience for each listener.
It really could. AI analyzing vast listener data, building detailed profiles, enabling super precise recommendations, delivering exactly what you want when you want it.
Imagine AI adapting a story based on your reactions, or adjusting detail levels in an informational podcast based on what you already know. Wild.
We're seeing early examples. Talkspace's TalkCast, NoGPT's AI generator, JellyPod for custom AI podcasts with voice cloning. Just the start.
But okay, downsides. Hyper-personalization. Risk of echo chambers, only hearing stuff that confirms our biases.
That's a huge and valid concern, yeah. If AI only prioritizes stuff like your past preferences, it could limit exposure to diverse perspectives. It's a tricky balance.
And the ethics of using all that personal listening data, data privacy, security, have to be paramount.
Absolute crucial as this tech evolves.
So it sounds like the future isn't AI replacing humans, but more. Collaboration. Humans and AI working together.
Exactly. AI is a creative partner. Brainstorming, drafting scripts, research. We're already seeing AI co-hosts like Ruby on Mind Meets Machine.
An AI co-host could offer unique advantages. Consistent availability, maybe unique vocal traits, processing info super fast, even handling translations for global guests.
And AI could boost audience engagement. Chatbots, voice assistants for real-time interaction, feedback, analyzing audience sentiment to guide content strategy.
Personalized content journeys, interactive storytelling.
Lots of potential there.
But challenges exist, right? Maintaining that authentic human connection, the personality, that's key.
Critical point. We don't want podcasts to lose that human touch. Plus, technical limits, need for intuitive interfaces, defining roles for human versus AI.
Yeah, figuring out that partnership. And we can't talk AI without ethics, synthetic voices, big concerns there.
Misinformation, impersonation, serious risks.
Yeah.
Transparency and disclosure are essential, letting listeners know when it's AI.
And copyright, IP issues with AI trained on existing stuff. The law needs to catch up.
Definitely complex. And AI bias in recommendations, in generation.
Yeah.
Based on biased training data, fairness and inclusivity require careful design.
Right. And hyper-personalization ethics, again, data privacy, security, risk of filter bubbles, limiting perspectives.
All significant ethical challenges.
Broader societal stuff, too. Job displacement for humans.
Yeah.
Need AI to augment creativity, not just replace it. Risk of eroding authentic human connection in media.
These are huge questions we need to grapple with as AI shapes the whole media landscape, not just podcasting. It's about using this power responsibly, ethically.
It really is remarkable to see how far podcasting has come. And the potential AI brings is, well, genuinely exciting. From manual downloads to these sophisticated AI tools, constantly evolving.
And for you, our listener, this means a future with more personalized, accessible, engaging audio. But it also raises those important questions about tech's role and the ethical side we need to keep in mind.
Yeah, definitely food for thought. Thank you so much for joining us today for this deep dive into podcasting's evolution and AI's growing impact. We really hope you found it valuable.
If you enjoyed this discussion and want to explore more fascinating topics with us, please hit that subscribe button wherever you get your podcasts.
And a huge thank you again to our wonderful sponsors on YouTube, Chris, The Plant-Based, and Emma Advanced. Your support is invaluable.
Thanks again to every single one of you for tuning in. We wish you all the very best.
Goodbye for now.